This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code GOLFSGPN to score $1,000 in bonus cash. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM and make sure to enter the free roll football contest where up to $3,500 in prizes are up for grabs. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll to enter today. All right, D-Gens, welcome back to your boy Boston Capra. Got the God of Golf himself, Steve Shermer, super producer Cam. And we're done with that abysmal end of golf. Thank God that abortion is over. And now we're going to do a little football to hold us over until get to that fall swing where we get to bet on a bunch of losers. So
wait. I thought we were going to talk an hour about the Tour Championship tonight.
No, I don't want to. I don't even want this. We've already talked about it too much.
We have.
Yes, already too much.
I think I heard some shows that they put up, some of the bigger shows put out polls about, do you like the Tour Championship? And I think mostly it was 85% no with like 10% maybes. And there's probably only like 5% that just voted just to like troll people. So I think it's the only thing in this country that everybody can agree on.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
So. But we are going to move on to the NFL show. As we just mentioned, Cameron Kerr, our producer, is here. He is going to be joining us when he can for all our NFL pick shows because we all love the NFL. We all bet the NFL, and we figure we probably we'll have a nice little 3-man lead up here. So, Cameron, thank you for joining us on the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm actually in beautiful Shreveport, Louisiana this week. So I am in a DraftKings online sportsbook state. So I'm looking at some of these lines, eyeing some season-long props to bet while I'm here. So I'm great.
What are you currently eyeing right now?
Currently eyeing Jared Goff over 4,000 passing yards.
Okay.
They have a very good offensive line this year, and I think I think he's super underrated. I'm really high on the Lions this year.
I think everybody's high on the Lions, but
really?
I've heard a lot of Lions buzz. A lot of people, it's kind of like when we make a golf pick, it's like, I'm really high on Aaron Rye this week, and then everybody's high on Aaron Rye, and then all of a sudden he's the most tipped golfer. I've heard a lot of just Lions. Like, I'm gonna go off the board. I'm picking the Lions.
But everybody was on him. Everybody was on him last year too. They were super popular last year, and they actually hit. So they did what they were supposed to do. So yeah, I don't hate the Lions this year. They're in a soft ass division. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought I wasn't seeing a whole lot of Lions stuff, and they should have been in the NFC Championship last year. I'll always be a Dan Campbell guy, so he's an Aggie.
Oh, great!
Former Giant too, by the way. So for a couple of
he was literally the inspiration for the steroided up gym coach on South Park.
Was he?
Yep,
I think so. Looks just like him. Acts just like him.
Oh, that's right. The PC principal, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's not the gym coach. He's that guy. All right. Well, before we get to the week 1 picks, so we kind of revamped the show. Obviously, we brought Cam here to help us with the picks. We're not just going to do ATS picks. We got different categories that we're going to go through, kind of spice things up every single week. But before we get to the week 1 picks, obviously a lot of betting on NFL win totals coming in. I know that the Sports Gambling Podcast, the mothership, had a bunch of episodes with all their win totals. They got all their bets down. But I want to ask you two, what is your favorite win total that you have bet so far this offseason? Boston Capra, let's start with you. What's your top win total?
You already know what it is. It's the Patriots under 4.5. It's fucking free money.
Okay. All right. What's your second favorite then?
I'm telling you right now, this Patriots team is so bad, bro. It is unbelievably bad. I think I like the Green Bay under as well. I can't remember what I think it was like 10.5. I think. Does that sound right? I bet the Green Bay under. Okay.
That's not. I think it's like probably 9.5. This
Everybody's all fucking over Green Bay. Like they are fucking. They're just gonna roll, and Jordan Love's the answer. They got all these receivers. I think the defense took a little step back. Yeah, I don't. This to me screams like Vince Young Eagles with all the hype these fucking guys are getting. So
I kind of agree. This is not really the time to jump on after everyone was saying how bad they were going to be last year, and then they overperformed. This is definitely not the time to buy in, I don't think.
Yeah, I think I still need to see more than 6 games out of Jordan Love. And remember, Tommy DeVito beat Jordan Love. So let's pump the brakes a little bit on that. So, Cameron, what about you? What's your favorite other than the Steelers?
Oh.
Come on, guys. We got to be a little more creative just doing homework.
Yeah, no,
and
you're
we already
right.
we already got a homer pick segment coming up. You'll have plenty of time to talk about your shitty teams. Or Cameron's going to hold them in very high esteem tonight. So, what's your second favorite?
I take it back. I take it back. The under Saints 7.5. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
Dennis Allen
stinks.
That's it. Dennis Allen. That's it.
Yeah, this year I think I went one too many times with the Saints last year. I'm not doing that again. They suck. So, all right, Cam, what's your favorite win total prop you're on other than the Steelers?
Okay. Well, I love the Steelers because the books still continue to just set the line under 500 for Mike Tomlin.
This is going to be the year.
Yeah, everyone's been saying that for the past, man, I don't know how long.
So let me ask you something. So there's a raging sports debate in Boston, right? Like, so this afternoon troll host constantly brings up the Steelers. He's like, I'd rather be the Steelers. But you guys haven't won a playoff game in what, like almost 10 years at this point?
Yes, we haven't.
I would rather fucking lose and be terrible and have ups and downs than just be not winning a playoff game and going 500 every year. It must be fucking maddening.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is because we continue to get the 20th pick. But our draft picks, it hasn't really mattered. Like last year, we wanted a quarterback. 2 years ago, we wanted a quarterback. There were no quarterbacks. So we got Kenny Pickett, and that didn't pan out. Like if we had gotten someone else, it wouldn't have panned out either. It was just a bad year for quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, people are a little frustrated because of that, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a little higher than most Steeler fans, but yeah, most Steeler fans are kind of in that boat where they're pissed off. They want Mike Tomlin gone because we haven't won a playoff game.
And as they should be. I mean, he's basically Pittsburgh's Jeff Fisher. I mean, at this point, he's really no better than Jeff Fisher if you really want to take it.
That's a little disrespectful. I think.
Why? It was 7-9 versus 8-8. Who gives a fuck? It's one game and no playoffs.
Okay.
In almost a decade.
All right. So Cap. So other than the Steelers, what was your favorite win total? You like? We had to round again.
Well, so now I'm kind of second guessing myself because a lot of the teams I was high on, I feel like everyone's kind of high on them. I think the Titans win 7 games.
Okay.
I think the Titans win 7 games this year. It's plus money. I also am kind of high on the Saints actually, but Dennis Allen is a big concern.
He is, and as someone who's a Chris Olave truther who wants him freed, little concerned about him this year. I didn't understand, and Capper already knows where I'm going with this. I didn't understand why the Bears are 9.5 wins. And it's just, did people forget who their coach is? Matt Eberflus, probably a bottom 3 coach. And I know Caleb Williams has a couple like really good passes, but he also has some stinker passes in the preseason.
Okay.
He's a rookie. And like, this is a loser franchise. It seems like every time they get a lot of hype behind them, they fall flat on their face. Like I remember last year, they got a lot of hype before that Packers game hosting the home opener, and they got blown out in that game. And I just think it's going to be the same thing over and over again for this team. Not only am I on the under 9.5 wins for Chicago, I got them to miss the playoffs at minus 120. I just think that's a big leap for this team. So, listen, they got a lot of weapons, but the offensive line is still shaky. Maybe some holes more in the defense. And I just think they're really poorly coached. And, maybe even Matt Eberflus' first coach fired maybe is in play too. So that's my favorite.
I don't think there's any way they fire him because they got to give him. They have Caleb Williams. Like they got to give him at least more than one.
And Caleb seems to like him. The GM out there, just from watching on Hard Knocks, seems like a super sharp guy. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I don't know if they're gonna fire him the first year with Caleb Williams. This is like an abject disaster. Like,
yeah, maybe you never know. So, all right. You want to pay some bills, or do you want to get to?
Yeah, let's pay some bills before we jump into the segment. So the Sports Gambling Podcast is back, picking every NFL game against the spread, just like they've done since 2011. Make sure you enter to the free roll football contest with $3,500 is up for grabs. Sign up over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll.
Okay. All right. So, like we mentioned, it's a slightly revamped NFL show from us. We are going to start with the Thursday night game. It helps picking this game. Unlike last year, where we actually did it on Thursday night. We kind of had to jam it in there. So, right now it is Kansas City -3 over the Ravens. Looks like the juice is shaded a little bit towards +3 with the Ravens. I think around like -120 or so. Cam, why don't we start with you? Who do you like in the game? Baltimore or KC to cover?
So unfortunately, I think the Ravens are going to be good this year, and I hate the Ravens. They're going to find some way to lose at least 3 games in the division, but I think that they're going to be good this year, and I'm going to go with the trend of fading the Super Bowl winner coming off in the first game and take the Ravens +3.
Okay. All right. I believe the Super Bowl winner has not covered in 3 straight in these Thursday night games. The last game was actually the Chiefs over Deshaun Watson and the Texans. Boy, has he fallen from grace. Capper, what about you?
So I'm doing the same thing. I mean, Kansas City is in Patriot mode where the football season doesn't start until after Thanksgiving. And so they came out last year and lost to Detroit on opening night. So I don't see this year starting off any different. They know it's a marathon, not a sprint. They know they have that division by the throat. They're going to come out slow, and Baltimore's going to think they've won their Super Bowl, and they'll fuck off in the playoffs like they always do. But I think they'll cover the 3.
All right. I have an ethical dilemma. Do I make it a clean sweep so everybody who's watching this goes KC -3, or do I stick to my guns? So both teams have offensive line concerns. The tackles for the Chiefs are really well. The left tackle is unproven; he's a rookie. The right tackle is absolutely terrible. The interior of their line is pretty good. The Ravens also, though, have kind of a shaky offensive line. They got a left guard. Was a 7th round pick, I think, starting for them. That's no bueno. They got a rookie right tackle. They had a lot of turnover on defense, too. So I don't know. I mean, I know the trend of fading the Super Bowl winners, the last 3. I think it's going to go the other way this year. I like Kansas City -3. I'm just, I think a couple times last year, I just started to go against Mahomes. It didn't go all that great. I think they're just going to break the trend, and I'll just go with KC -3.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't knock it, right? Betting against Mahomes in prime time, you're not going to make a whole lot of money doing that. So it is what it is. I mean, they're going for, Patriots shit, man. Like I'm telling you, like I recognize how that team. I didn't give a shit about a game until after Thanksgiving. Like I really, didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe it helps them too that they lost the Thursday night game last year too. So maybe they know that, and maybe they know what to do, and they won't come.
I don't know. Maybe Kelsey's been telling too many times to Swifties, and you got Patrick and Brittany doing every fucking interview you possibly can about style and houses and all that stuff. You see ancillary stuff like that trip up these guys, at least in the beginning of the season, when maybe they're not putting enough work in the off season.
Listen, I get it. I think it might be final year in New England Gronkowski type season for Kelsey. Just slow. He's 35 now.
Yeah, he's old.
So
he's old. What's crazy, I don't even know why he's breaking down. It's not like he blocks or anything. He's not even a fucking true tight end. He's just a receiver. He stinks blocking. Stinks.
I mean, he's just a 35-year-old who's gone across the middle too many times.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. So, all right. Second segment. ATS lock of the week. Cannot pick your own team because we already have that segment. So, Capper, I know you are crossing out Cincinnati right now because
I read the instructions.
Okay. All right. Cameron, let's start with you. What is your lock bet ATS of the week?
A lot of pressure going first. Not gonna lie, I wrote down 5.
Jesus
I
Christ.
forgot. No. I
Cam,
forgot.
I'm gonna
we were
need
doing.
I'm gonna need you to be more decisive moving forward. You hemmed and hawed about your favorite fucking futures. I'm gonna need you to be more decisive. Just moving forward.
All right,
Come in with a plan, man.
All right, sorry, I forgot we were doing just one, so I wrote down 5. So I got to pick one that
Pick
I
one.
like the best.
Do you want me to go first so you can stare at your list?
No.
All right.
No, because I'm going back to the well, like I did last week, week 1. I was sitting in the Westgate Sportsbook, and I watched Gardner Minshew from the 1-yard line and 3 downs to score a touchdown, and he couldn't do it. Anthony Richardson got hurt on the 1-yard line. The line was plus 7.5. They were down 14. All they had to do was get it in the end zone and kick the field goal for a backdoor cover. And Anthony Richardson runs it down to the 1, hurts his leg, and then Gardner Minshew comes in with 3 downs and couldn't get it in. And everyone was against the Colts. No one had faith in him. I was the only one in the sports book that had the Colts. And it would have been such a fulfilling backdoor cover. They didn't do it. I looked like an idiot. Everyone else, all these casuals cheered, and it was the wrong side. They should have covered. I'm going back to the well. Give me the Colts plus 2.5 against the Texans.
Okay.
I like it. Stepping in front of the preseason dialing. Everybody's all over them. Somebody put a massive fucking bet on at them minus 2.5, and the line did not move. So that is always a good sign for you.
That is a good sign, but really it's personal. Really,
that's the best way to go about betting NFL.
Oh, always, yeah. No, I do like it, and it did bite me in the ass a little bit. I went a little too contrarian, so I'm not going full contrarian like I did week 1 last year, because a lot of chalk hit last season.
I mean, that's a pretty contrarian take right there.
Oh no, this is the most contrarian pick on the board.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think this is my only one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Colts are a little overrated in this spot. They're well coached. Got Anthony Richardson back. They got a good offensive line. Yeah, I don't mind that pick at all.
Jonathan Taylor's a stud.
Man,
he was out that game, I think, too.
Yep.
Yeah, he was out that game. And then I mean, Houston's got a lot of smoke being blown up their ass, and we'll see. Maybe they come out a little flat there. So, all right, Capper, what about you? What's your lock of the week?
So, I'm going to what was the worst team in the NFL last year, getting 4.5 over the New Orleans Saints, and everything coming out of the Carolina camp. Young looks a lot better. New coach, new energy. Deontay Johnson looks good. Thielen looks fine. Chuba Hubbard was a fucking stud coming down the stretch towards the end of last year. I think a new coach, new system. I think 4.5's a lot for a Saints team that I fucking don't believe in at all. Dennis Allen is bottom 3 coach in the NFL. They don't know how to use Kamara. The running back, he was already talking shit on that Kendre Miller guy, and he's starting on the pup. They have Olave with everything else a question mark. Yeah, man, 4.5's way too much for them to be laying to fucking anybody. I don't care how bad they were last year. I think people are sleeping on Carolina. I think they're going to be significantly better this year.
Yeah, that was on the short list for my money line dog of the week.
I took a bigger money line dog. We opened the season strong.
There you go. All right. So I mean, with week 1, I know we say we think we know what's going to happen. None of us really know what's
Nobody
gonna
knows shit.
Yeah. But I watch a lot of football and watch a lot of styles of football that can be very difficult to prep for. And I think this team, with their coach and how they play, I think they're just going to be the fast starting team in the NFL. They've gotten enough fast starts in the last 2 years. I really like Miami this week over Jacksonville. And I just think it's so hard to simulate the speed that they bring on offense. Mike McDonald's going to be throwing some weird, kinky, weird shit all over the field, with his scheming plans. And, Miami's defense was really good last year until they got very banged up. Bradley Chubb's going to be on the pup to start, but they got Jalen Phillips back. The secondary is fairly solid. And I just don't think Doug Peterson's a good enough coach to be able to prep for these guys. He should have been fired after what happened last year. He ends up scapegoating his defensive coordinator, brings in the guy from the Falcons. He didn't do much better. They didn't really have a lot of significant upgrades. I know they've drafted Brian Thomas, but he's a rookie. They replaced Calvin Ridley, who is Mr. Inconsistency, with another guy who is even more inconsistent, Gabe Davis. He sucks. He is terrible. I watched him for 4 years up here. Everybody thinks he's good because of that playoff game. He's horrible. So the fact they replaced him with that's a downgrade there. The offensive line is not very good in Jacksonville. And I think Miami's going to get off to a really good start, and people are going to be talking about them again on Monday on First Take. So I really like Miami in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. Although I will tell you, in the Jacksonville area, hopes are very high. And let me tell you, that never ends well for the poor Jaguars fans. When they think something good's going to happen, it never does. So, yeah, I think you're probably right on that.
What's one of the golden rules that Sean and Ryan have told us in the past? You lay the 3, you lay the 3.5, and
lay the 3.5.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what
Don't worry about that hook. All right. Well, listen, before we get into the homer picks and money line dogs and totals, going to talk to you guys about Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. They give you a chance to win 1,000 times your entries. When the NFL is back, there's a ton of Pick'ems specials to get started. You can use specials and boost on all flex entries. So sign up with promo code GolfSGPN to claim your first special pick and first time deposit bonus offer up to $1,000 of bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code GolfSGPN. And Rhythm, have you ever really wanted to create your own sports betting model for football? Do you even know what a sports betting model is? SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models, or press build a model for me, and Rhythm gives you predictions for every game, player props, and it has a myriad of stats, research, trend analysis, and give you even more betting insights. The Rhythm college football, they liked Colorado versus North Dakota State under 59.5, which was a nice cash. So claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamingpodcast.com. That's sportsgamingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Okay. Let's go to the next segment, where probably we're going to start arguing a little bit because we all get defensive about our favorite teams, except for Boston Capper, who's completely out.
That's right. Why don't you start it off? Steve, you started off this time.
All right, I'll start it off. So everybody knows that, listen, there is the mothership, Ryan Kramer, who bleeds blue. Everything is all hunky-dory with the Giants until it's not. I tend to call it a little more straight. I tend to be a little more objective about this team, maybe because I've just been beaten down for the last 10 years watching terrible, shitty football with this team that they just kind of need to win me back at this point before I can actually think that they're good. But let me actually try and make the case for the Giants this year. Not this year. Maybe in week 1. I'll get to that in a little bit. In week 1.
Oh, my God.
The offensive line is better. The offensive line's better. They finally have benched Evan Neal. They got Jermaine Illuminor on right tackle. He's solid and serviceable. They picked up Van Roten off the scrap heap to pair with they got the Raiders offensive line coach from last year. They were pretty solid last year. They got Van Roten there, so he knows the schemes are going to be run. John Michael Schmitz is healthy. You got Runyon over at left guard, and then Andrew Thomas is an all-pro. So I do think the offensive line, it could not get any worse last year. It's going to be an upgrade, at least starting the year. And they have a pretty good pass rush. Obviously they just acquired Brian Burns. You got Thibodeau as well. Dexter Lawrence is an all-pro D tackle. And one of the weaknesses about Minnesota is their interior offensive line. I think they can be able to definitely get to Darnold a little bit. But if they can't, the secondary is terrible. Singletary, he's just a guy. He's fine. And you still have Daniel Jones, who I think what they did in 2022, they simplified the offense for him. Then they asked him to do a little more, and he fell completely flat on his face, and teams figured him out. And I think there's a reason why all these anonymous sources say that he sucks, because he does suck. But I'm still going to go with the Giants plus 110 on the money line. I think they do get it done. Minnesota they're not very good. You got Darnold as the quarterback. I know neither are the Giants. I'm just going to take the underdog here. But here's the problem, though, is if they don't win this game, they might not win a game until November. They're at Washington, which contrary to the opinion, we don't typically win in Washington, especially with really bad teams. We tend to kind of split those games. So that's a loss. They got to go to at Cleveland. They got Dallas, Seattle. They got Philadelphia. They got a couple other teams too that they might not win until after Halloween. And by then, maybe that's actually the best thing because probably if they're 0-8 or 1-7, then probably Daniel Jones is officially put on the bench and we can finally move on. But for this game, though, I do think because people just think they suck and they're counting them out, I think kind of like what they did against the Titans a couple of years ago, they pull out a win out of their ass. So I'll go with the Giants money line.
Did you say they're at Commander or at
Commanders
They're at
At
Washington.
Commanders
They're
this
at
week?
Washington next week.
next week. He's
All
talking
right,
about next.
I got a fun stat for you that you might like.
Okay.
Over,
All right,
the, last,
Cam.
over the last 6
Give
years.
give us. Oh, you're gonna give us it now. Okay, go ahead.
No. This is a Giant stat. Pro Giant stat. Over the last 3 years at home, over the last 5 years at home, the Giants are 3-2 against the spread in New York, and they are 5-1 against the spread in Maryland?
In
Is that where they
Washington.
play?
Land over Maryland.
Washington. And
Not your strong suit, huh?
yeah, but they were dogs the last 2 years, but they were favorites. Or sorry, the last 4 years they've been dogs to the Commanders in Maryland.
All right. I think Washington might be a little better this year. I think Jane Daniels, until Jane Daniels breaks in half because he's a toothpick, I think they actually will be a little better.
What are the odds for them to be the team with the last win? Do you know what that is?
I don't even know that, but I would assume it's probably one of the favorites.
Yeah, it's probably close to mine.
Plus
I was looking at it. I was like, because I don't think I'm going to win a game until after Halloween either. So I was like,
well, all right. So hold on. So let me do their schedule real quick. So if they lose this week, got at Washington, at Cleveland, Thursday night, home against Dallas, which they're going to lose 43-0. At Seattle, home against Bengals, home Philadelphia, at Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's winner.
At Pittsburgh.
Russell Wilson sucks.
It might be Justin Fields by then.
The fact that they made Russell Wilson a captain tells me everything I need to know about how this fucking season's going to go.
He's a great leader.
He's been punched in the face.
All right, let's
locker
save the
rooms.
Steelers talk for a little bit. Before finally November 3rd, they have home Washington, home Carolina. So that could be 2 wins in a row, but like that could be 0-8 if they lose this week.
Yeah,
it's not great.
I get it.
So
all right, go ahead, Cam. Tell me why the Steelers are awesome and they'll still make the playoffs and still not win one this year.
I'm sorry. The Giants are 5-1 straight up, not against the spread.
Well, different coaching staff, different quarterback.
Interesting. Okay, so you want the Steelers pitch now?
Sure.
Not really.
All right. Well, we are kind of in the same boat as far as the schedule goes. As you guys probably know, we have the second toughest schedule, I think, in the entire NFL.
I definitely knew that.
And the toughest schedule post bye week in the NFL this year. So if we do not come out hot and before the bye week, which is saying a lot with 2 new quarterbacks, then we might be in trouble. 9 wins might be in trouble. But
it's so fucking delusional.
No. All right.
So delusional.
All right. We had this conversation last year, Chris. Like,
I know.
We won 8 games with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph.
You're in no better position. None. Just because you recognize the name doesn't make it a better
Russell Wilson
spot.
is a Super Bowl
Sucks.
MVP.
Fucking 30 years ago. Who cares?
It wasn't even 30 years ago. It was
shit.
2012?
Yeah, a very long time ago, Cam.
Or maybe 2014, something like that.
Doesn't matter. It was a long time ago. He stinks.
All right. But the thing, like him being a captain makes sense. He's a good leader. And that's what Justin Fields
Everybody hates him.
That's what
Let's ride.
That's what Justin Fields
the whole Broncos team didn't want to. They made him sit on the other end of the bench. He's such a douchebag. He is not a good leader.
All right. There were a lot more problems.
He had an office.
There were a lot more
Denver
problems than Russell
he
Wilson.
wouldn't let people talk to him
Broncos.
unless they went through his agent. Teammates.
He's changed.
Uh-huh.
He has.
Okay.
I have inside sources.
What about week 1?
Inside sources in the building.
Oh, I got it. All right. What about week 1? How you guys going to come out of the gate?
Do you know who our offensive coordinator is?
Yeah,
Yes, we all
unfortunately, I
know.
do. Yeah.
Revenge game, baby. Revenge game. Cordell Stewart goes for 2 touchdowns. Cordell Stewart.
Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, but
Whoa!
Cordell Patterson goes for
Were
3
you even
touchdowns.
alive when Cordell Stewart was playing?
Stewart.
Yeah. I have a number 10
were a-
jersey, and it's
What were you, 2?
what?
What were you, 2 years old when Cordell Stewart was playing?
Yeah,
What
I have a
year were you
number
born?
10 Ryan Switzer Steelers jersey, and it's funny, like a lot like the younger guys will come up and be like, that's a sick Ryan Switzer jersey. Like I loved him. And then the old dudes are like, are you wearing a Cordell Stewart jersey? Like, and it's just so polarizing depending on how old you are. Cordell Patterson is going to go for 2 touchdowns against his former team as well. And this is a revenge game, and we're going to win outright. That being
Alright.
said, the line movement is not great. It opened at like +2, and it's already at like +4. So, and
So
also,
you going to take money line or you
What-
going to
what-
take the points?
oh no, I'd take the points. But what do y'all think of Kirk Cousins?
We'll see
Do y'all
how we
think
get
he
there
can
in a little
bounce
bit.
back from his injury that quick?
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Is he too old to bounce back from an injury that quick?
Now, the way medicine works now, and the NFL's got all the good drugs, man. Like, it'll be fine. He's fine. It's not like he's mobile.
Oh no, I love him. I know, like I'm a Kirk guy, but I just feel like if he gets sacked by TJ Watt once, he might be a little timid.
You want to talk about a revenge game? Bijan Robinson is going to score 9 touchdowns to show Arthur Smith how underutilized he was in Atlanta.
That's an angle. That's a good angle.
Okay. Hey, Arthur, do you see what I can do? Imagine if you gave me the ball last year. Maybe you still have a job, you fat sad. Fucking unbelievable.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. This game, the Steelers season, this is going to be a fun Steelers season. That's what you could always anticipate. I no matter what, I think I'll have at least like going into week 16, I'll have a sweat going for my my large future that I always place on the Steelers over to go over 500. So it's always good for that at least.
You can't even push anymore.
Nope.
I
No
took that
pushing.
safety valve out because you hit that more times than going over 500.
Yeah, I think I got like +120 at Circa last week
Yeah, it should have been plus
for
3,000.
the over too. So whatever. We'll see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun
Say
season.
so. Watching Russell Wilson, the quarterback, is not my definition of fun.
I don't know. I think y'all might be underestimating the situation in Denver. Like I think that he's gonna be at least a little bit better, at least not as bad as he was in Denver.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will.
All right, Capper. Why don't you shit on the Patriots for 3 minutes?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, look. So I will say 8.5 is rather large. Without Jamar Chase playing, makes me a little nervous. But then I remember that Jacoby Brissett is going to be starting for the Patriots, who has 12 wins as a starter, I believe. My offensive line, which was already hot fucking garbage, has already had injuries. So now we'll be looking at something named Caden Wallace at left tackle because something named Vidarian Lowe got injured. Nick Leverett, no idea who that fucking guy is. David Andrews is solid as a center. Our only right guard, Sidney So, got fucking injured, and Mike Iwanu blows, and so does Okafor. They're terrible. They were literally running into each other in a pregame. They had 10 penalties in the first half of the last preseason game. The offensive line, 10. And that was without 4 that were declined. This is such a poorly coached team with a terrible offensive coordinator named Alex Van Pelt, who didn't even call his own plays in fucking in Cleveland. He was the last guy standing at a bar at 2 a.m. and take something from Big Jim Murray. It's when you're at a bar and it's 2 a.m., you're gross, I'm drunk, let's go. That's how fucking AVP got picked to be the offensive coordinator of the Patriots because nobody else wanted the job. because the offensive line is trash. We have one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the NFL. Jacoby Brissett is starting. And I know that our defense is supposed to be good. We get Chris Gonzalez back. Well, now we don't have Barmore or Matthew Judon. So who's going to be rushing the passer? And listen, I shout on Belichick too. He was still a great defensive mind. And now I get Gerard Mayo, who just fucks up every press conference he's ever been in. He didn't call the fucking defense. Little Belichick did. So he's turned over the offense to the fucking analyst nerds. And this is going to be abject disaster of a season. But it is what it is. I'll be looking for little nuggets of, oh, look, maybe Keon White's good. Maybe Drake May is that guy, so I can have something to look forward to. But this season is going to be a disaster. I can't get over fast enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the 8.5 with Cincy.
Right. Cameron, let me give you an impromptu prop here.
Yeah.
Jay Monahan press conferences minus 135 over Gerard Mayo press conferences. Who are you taking?
I hate Monahan more. So give me a year though, because I've only had a little small snippet of Mayo, and he already irritates the shit out of me. Double talks and like tries to be super friendly, and I'm like, listen, man, like you're not giving the right answer, dude. They read off the captains today, and he forgot to say Jacoby Brissett was a captain. That's how little of an afterthought that worthless quarterback is. Jacoby Brissett. We have so much money. The Patriots are so fucking cheap. The Crafts don't get dragged over the coals enough for this. We could have got Kirk Cousins to be the bridge quarterback. We could have got some semblance of somebody who can throw the fucking football. This is going to be such a nightmare season. Like it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. But right. I'm here for it.
All right. Let's move on. Let's go to our top moneyline dog of the week. Cameron, you just spoke, so we'll give you a little break. Cameron, other in Pittsburgh, what is your best moneyline dog of the week?
I'm going to a pick that you liked, Steve. I'm going to the Titans.
Okay.
They are
probably like plus 160.
Plus 160.
There you go.
On the money line. I'm going to the Titans, and it plays with my my model that I'll tell you guys about.
Okay. All right. You want to tell us about this right now? Since we got you?
Yeah. It's really simple.
Okay.
I look at all the lines and I write down ones that I like, usually like 5. And then I go to Twitter and I check what Andy Lack is picking. And if he picks the other side, then I scratch him off. If he picks the same side, then great. Perfect for me. And that's my system. That's my model.
All right. Hey, Cam, you got a little brown in your nose there. So good for you. All right. So I'll go then. You know, because Capper's probably still out of breath over there after his.
Oh my God.
So we spent a lot of time talking about the Steelers tonight. And listen, I think they're garbage. I think Arthur Smith sucks. I think Russell Wilson is absolutely horrible. But this is just full fade of the Falcons hype train this year. Remember, this was an organization that decided that, you know, they had a serviceable running back and decided to blow a top 10 pick on Bijan Robinson, who could be very good, but then they decided to just split the carries there, you know, when they had glaring needs elsewhere. And then they gave Kirk Cousins $100 million and decided, you know, we're going to take a backup quarterback at 8, you know, just because. And
well, I'm going to circle back to this. I'm going to defend.
I like where this is going.
Defend that. You're going to defend it? Okay.
I am going to defend it. And I might actually be able to bring you to my side.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Say what you want about Mike Tomlin. Going to give him a full offseason prepare for the Falcons, who honestly, do we know that they're really good on offense? Do we know that they're actually going to give the ball to Bijan Robinson? Do we know that Drake London is really ready to step up? Is Kyle Pitts anything more than just really slow Vernon Davis? I don't know.
Vernon Davis, that's a name.
You got Kirk Cousins. You got Kirk Cousins, who's 35. Which, listen, you know, you made the case, but he's not mobile. Well, maybe that's going to be kind of a problem that he's not very mobile with that Achilles. With the Steelers, with the best units on the field with their defense, and Everybody's trying to crown Raheem Morris because he did a really job with the Rams.
He's a good coach.
Do we know he's a good head coach though, or maybe he's just
No.
one of those good coordinators?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, because he was an abject disaster when he was the head coach of Tampa.
Tampa.
So I just think with all the crazy hype with the Falcons, and we got Pittsburgh coming in, who tends to show up a little bit on week one, because I think Mike Tomlin will have these guys ready to play, and they got the best unit on the field. I like Pittsburgh plus 155 in the money line to get the upset.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
So
Here we
gross.
go.
That is not an endorsement of Russell Wilson. That is not an
So
endorsement of Arthur Smith. This is just
gross.
anti-Kirk Cousins. And I still have a little faith in Mike Tomlin to get these guys ready. But that's a full endorsement of the Steelers defense, which I think is going to carry this game this week.
Like I
All right,
said,
let me go back to the Kirk Cousins. Let me go back to the
first
Kirk
7-8
Cousins.
games are must win.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So the Kirk
Right.
Cousins thing. So yes, they gave him what, 90 million guaranteed, right?
100 million guaranteed.
No, it's 90 million over the first 2 years and 10 on the back end. The cap doesn't fucking mean shit, right? We all know this. They just restructured Deshaun Watson's so that he's absolutely tradable at this point. The crap is the crap. Exactly. The cap is crap. Like, it doesn't matter at all. So if they think that Penix is the guy and they can get him at number 8 and he'll sit for 2 years, but you still have the guy, then that's not a bad pick. Because if Kirk Cousins is done at 37 because he's coming off an ACL, they gave a nice bridge quarterback. It's only money. Arthur Blank has plenty of it. He does not give a fuck about it. He wants to be, he's getting up there, right? He wants to be competitive. He wants to make it back to the Super Bowl. That's why he hired the new young offensive mind from the McVay camp to come down there and coach these guys up and let Penix sit and learn from a good quarterback who is, Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, man. I mean, the same thing happened with RG3 and him, right? They were 2 rounds apart, but same theory that, listen, I'll pay my free agent guy because it's just money and I do what I want with the cap. It doesn't matter. And if I think Penix is the guy, then he gets to sit for 2 years, learn the system, learn how to be a pro. And in 2 years, bye-bye, Kurt. And I still have him for first round. So what? Another 3 years with a 5th-year option. And then you can re-sign him, and you have the guy. I don't think it's a bad strategy at all, especially when it's the most important position in sports. What good would it have done him to draft a left tackle? You know what I mean? Like, but this is only if they really think Penix is the guy.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to disagree on this one. I think if you bring in Kirk Cousins, you are in win now mode. Given his age, you have the number 8 pick, and considering your defense was 27th in DVOA, 24th against the run, 30th in passing, and you get the 8th pick. Like, you got to get an impact defensive player at that point to help you guys out there.
Y'all know who did this exact same thing like 5 years ago?
Who did that?
The Packers. Do you think it worked out for them?
I think so.
Yeah, the Packers also had a better infrastructure and better pieces around it.
That's
at this
true.
point.
Very true.
So, and
What I'm saying is we'll see. I don't think it should be panned as much as it was, because that was my initial reaction as well until I really thought about it.
I think the difference as well is you had a long-time tenure quarterback there with the Packers. This is the guy you brought in this year specifically.
But he's still a veteran.
He's still a veteran, sure. But I think if you're actually going to if you make the decision, I'm going to bring in 35-year-old Kirk Cousins, this is win now mode. So I think if you have a top 10,
and set yourself up for the future.
Okay,
one cornerback or one inside linebacker isn't gonna make a Super Bowl push. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, well, they didn't really address the defense in the offseason, other than some 3rd or 4th round edge rushers that they apparently reached on. So
that's fair. That's a separate issue.
Okay,
right?
well, I just think they don't have a plan. I think it's a really poor organization.
That's fair.
All right,
you could be right. I could be fucking completely wrong. I was just wanted to throw my defense up.
So the other thing about the Steelers is last season they had a really good preseason. They went, I think, 3-0, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, their offense.
I traded.
Yeah.
I traded, what was his name? Pickett in our dynasty. I have a dynasty league, and I traded Pickett right after that preseason for Deebo Samuel and a 2nd round pick. I think that worked out for me.
Yeah, they were the greatest show on turf last preseason.
Yep.
How'd that work out?
This stiff before regular season starts.
And so that's kind of another reason why you should like this. Like, they were way overhyped going into that game with the 49ers, and they completely got blown out of the water. Now they're kind of coming in under the radar, went 0-3 in the preseason, didn't look great. I kind of like what Steve was saying about Tomlin having them ready. I think it happens. I think Arthur Smith knows that team too. So
yeah,
Arthur Smith doesn't know much.
I'm just fading the perceptions week 1. That usually is a winning.
Yeah,
slate for
look,
week
that's
1.
perfectly fine. That's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
So-
I have no, I don't necessarily. It makes me sound like I give a shit about Atlanta. I give no fucks about Atlanta. Like I just think that it got panned very quickly in the social media world, and the GM came out and was like, "Oh, I told Blank what I was doing," and I was like, "All right, well, listen, like, hope it works out for you because it's your job if it ain't." So I don't know. I thought it was fine. I guess it's my money line, dog.
Yep, it is.
All right. So it's week 1. I'm not taking any of these plus 145s. We're a golf gambling show, boys. And so we know these things don't move us, right? So I didn't want to get too crazy, but plus 275 money line dog Arizona going into Buffalo.
I actually love this pick.
Yeah, dude, fucking decimated defense again, right? Josh Allen with new weapons, Stephon Diggs gone. James Cook is apparently the new Barry Sanders, is what I've been hearing. The head coach, last time I checked, still a fucking idiot. Somehow kept his job. I have no idea how. He's out of scapegoats because this is the year that he's done. And Arizona, everybody was shitting on him last year. They played pretty good, man. They got a new coach. Murray's healthy, upgrades on defense. Marvin Harrison Jr., Connor's healthy.
Do we know the latest on him? Is he playing? Did he sign a contract or
Harrison?
yeah?
Yeah,
Marvin
he's-
Harrison.
Harrison Jr. signed, yeah.
Yeah, he's in a dispute with what, Fanatics or something?
Fanatics, yeah. No, yeah.
Oh, but that's not
the
going to
team.
affect. Okay.
No. So I think this is a prime spot for an up and coming team. And listen, it's the first week of the NFL season. I think Arizona's going to surprise a lot of people, and I think Kyler Murray's going to have a great year. Steve made fun of me, and then did the exact opposite and picked him in a league that we were drafting in, which sent me over the fucking edge. But yeah, I think the Bills window has officially closed. Sorry.
So this pick goes against my system.
What, Andy picked Buffalo?
So I did this 2 years ago, this same system, and I went 61% against the spread the whole season.
Oh, technically, Andy went 61%. Is what it's
No, I didn't just
You're basically fucking
No, I
paying for picks.
No, I think you misunderstood.
Embarrassing.
No, I didn't just I picked games, and then if one of those was the opposite of what he picked, I crossed it off and only bet those. So
Did
I
you
didn't
track how
copy-
many? Did you track how many of those, the ones that you changed, would have hit versus didn't hit?
No, I didn't.
So what's
But
your 61%?
he did better than me, and then he put all his picks behind a paywall last year. And
Okay,
what did I go?
Okay.
What did I go?
We're good.
All right,
We're good.
let's move
Under
this along,
50%
guys.
last
Okay.
season.
All right,
We're
let's
good.
move this
All right.
along.
Total. Cam, what total do you like this week? I stink at totals, so just FYI.
Commanders and Bucks over 44.
Okay, I can see that.
I'm playing
Two
into the
bad
hype.
defenses.
I'm playing into the hype this year, or this with this total. The Jaden
Daniels.
Thank you. The Jaden Daniels hype. Playing into it.
Yeah, kid's a stud.
I think Baker has now had 2 years with the Bucks,
Yeah.
and
Well.
was it 1 year or 2 years?
Just 1 year.
Okay. Well, it
He was
doesn't
the
matter.
Rams
I
team
think
before that.
I think he found something at the end of the season last year, and I think both these offenses are a little underrated. So
No,
give me the over 44.
Yeah, I like it. I think Tampa's O-line is upgraded a bit, like a lot. I think upgraded. I think Rashad White is going to be good. I think that Bucky will be able to come in on passing downs and do well. Defense is still good. Baker is a good, serviceable quarterback, man. He was a number one pick for a reason. Like, he just had to get out of Cleveland, right? The certain organizations just fucking ruin you. Jets, Cleveland, yeah. So, yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
And I love Jaden Daniels. If that fucking scumbag Chad Ryland would have missed that goddamn kick in Denver, and we would have had the second pick versus the third pick. Now I got to deal with Drake May versus Daniels. Then meanwhile, we traded up for that cocksucker in the fourth round, a kicker who got cut this year. Thanks, Bill.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, their kicker cost us, I think Drake May actually when he missed that kick. We live streamed it. We got to dig that up. That's one of the all-time classic moments of the Call Gambling podcast. You happy that they missed the kick? I'm absolutely devastated.
Well, because you screwed me in earlier
Yeah.
with the kick in Denver. It was terrible. All right.
All right. So it's my turn total. All right.
Yeah, your turn.
All right, so we're going to actually stay with the same game with the money line dog for me because there's the flip side of the coin is sorry, Cam, your offense is terrible. And I still think I think the fact that you are hoping on Cordero Patterson getting 2 touchdowns.
This is too obvious.
That means Arthur Smith is just going to go completely wild. And
this is too obvious.
It doesn't matter. You got the Steelers defense, who I think is going to control the Falcons offense, and I just don't have any faith in the Steelers putting up more than like 21 points. So I think it's gonna be like a 21-16 type game, and it's gonna go under. So under 42.5.
Like it. I like it. I can absolutely see it.
You can't take the over. You take the under, or you don't bet it.
Yeah. Or I mean, I know I said didn't do teases, but tease Pittsburgh up to 10 and under like 49 or so.
Yeah, that's actually not bad.
I don't tease totals, but yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I break all types of gambling rules. I tease totals all the time.
Okay.
Desperate times sometimes, you know what I mean? So my total, I guess are we all going under?
No, I went over.
You went over.
I went under.
Right, I went under. I think the lowest total on the board, Dallas and Cleveland, 41.
Oh, I love that. I love that one. It was between that and this one.
Yeah, so the Browns defense, so good, right? That front 7 is fucking ferocious. And Deshaun Watson hasn't. When was the last time this idiot threw a football?
Like
in a real game?
Week 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And he didn't look good when he did it then. I don't think he's going to look any better. I think that 3 initial quarterback, I can't remember his name. I picked Donovan something people.
DTR.
TR, yeah, he'll be starting by like week 8. Like there's a reason they restructured Homeboy's contract. Yeah, it's going to be a disaster offensively in Pittsburgh. Jerome Ford's the number 1 running back with Deshaun Watson, who does not look like he can throw the football anymore. Dallas, they're running out of Rico Dowdle and the corpse of Zeke Elliott. Look, and their defense is getting really, really hyped up. I know they lost a big. Kim, what was the guy's name that they lost for the season already? It doesn't matter. Either way, I think the defense is going to be good enough, even without him, to slow them down. So I think this is an easy under for me.
Okay, so I actually need to fact check you a little bit. The Cleveland's backup quarterback is not Dorian Thompson Robinson. Do you know who it is?
It's not Winston. They're trading.
It's not Winston. They're going to trade him.
Yes, they had 4 quarterbacks on there. They've been fielding offers for him already. They think he's going to be gone by the end of next week.
Okay.
I could be fucking wrong. I'm just going off. Not like I know anything. I'm just going off the beat reporters.
All right. Well, it is. Yes, it's football cocaine. Jameis Winston.
Love that. I would have been happy with him over fucking Brissett. At least we'd be fun bad. You know what I mean? Except now we're just boring bad.
All right. Okay.
All
All right.
Pick, which I give no shit.
I have one more great stat for the Browns at home, but I need to look it up on my Twitter. So we're gonna circle back.
All right,
Steve, tweet it out,
Steve. Who do you like? Who do you like for Survivor?
I mean, look, like everybody's gonna be on the Bengals, but isn't that just the layup pick? I mean, other than that, though, I got Miami circled because I think they're gonna beat Jacksonville, and I'm worried about saving them towards later in the year when it gets colder. Maybe Tua gets hurt. I also like the Chargers too, and I think Vegas. I bet under on their win total. I think the Antonio Pierce coaching decision keeping him is. Listen, I love the guy. Thank you for helping us beat the Patriots in 2007, but I don't think he can really manage a team. And I think, listen, they got an adult in the room now in Jim Harbaugh. And,
is he an adult?
I think he is better than what what was the
Oh yeah,
guy's
listen,
name?
he fucking listen. I'm not comparing. Okay, I'm just saying I don't know how adult he is. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, I mean, if both the former Ravens running backs are healthy now, you got Gus Edwards, Dobbins. You know, that was a pretty good tandem back then. You still got
I got
Justin
Dobbins on my
Herbert.
dynasty. I'm hoping
You
he's
still
fucking
got
fine.
Justin Herbert. So, you know, the defense is not very good, but they're going against Gardner Minshew, who, like Cam said, couldn't get in from the one.
Yeah.
So
Laying 3 at home.
Yeah.
Fine.
I think I don't think they're a very good team, but you want to get kind of cheeky with it. I think
Okay.
Chargers survive
Breaking
today.
news: the line has moved to 7.5. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy the hook at. Let me see. Was it 120? This is for the Bengals, by the way. How much to buy the hook?
Oh, was there Jamar Chase lose or something?
Wasn't it 8.5?
It was. That's why I said breaking news. So I'm gonna buy the hook.
So Jamar Chase isn't playing.
Probably not. He's definitely worth a point. So I can get that to 7.
I've been arguing with mouth breathing Bengal fans on Twitter over this contract for a while.
All right, Capper, how much are you going to bid on Jamar Chase when I'm eliminating guillotine first week?
Not much, man. I don't trust receivers. I don't know. I know he's.
You don't trust receivers?
No, I don't trust receivers who have been holding out and stuff like.
Oh yeah,
not in Survivor. Like not in those first couple weeks. I'm going to plug him in. He's going to be what 60% of snaps, and then I get chopped too. No thanks. I'll
okay.
leave.
All right. Well, that's too bad.
We don't know that's why, but all right, give us your stat.
Why
the Browns in let's see, the first week of December last year, the Browns at home only scored 51 points. The Browns on the road, sorry, this is allowed. They allowed only 51 points at home
in the entire month. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh,
No, this is 3 months into the season. So I tweeted this on the first week of December. At this point, they had allowed 3 times as many points on the road. So you take the under when they're at home and the over when they're on the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember their defense last year was basically Swiss cheese every time they left Cleveland.
So and then I found another tweet where I went.
Carolina used to keep that turf long to slow the fast teams down from the NFC South, coming Atlanta specifically.
Christmas Eve, I was 7-0 taking Browns road overs.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Not bad.
All right.
So my survivor pick is Seattle. My survivor pick is Seattle. I think that defense is super strong. Listen, get out of the way early. I'm telling you. This is like Seattle at home, fucking almost a touchdown favorite. Defense is very, very strong. I don't care what Bo Nix looked like in preseason. He stinks. He's gonna. Peyton's gonna be able to cover up a lot of stuff. And listen, I don't even mind Denver. I think their win total was actually something I was looking to bet over. I think Javonte Williams is underrated. I think Cortland Sutton is underrated. I just don't know about that defense. I think Seattle. I just think Geno Smith. All right, I can't say that. Well, he just he can manage an offense, man. Like so I used to make a joke when he got drafted. I can't do it. It's a very long time ago.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, look, I mean, they got the weapons. They got Walker. They got Njigba. They got. I don't know if Lockett's going to play, but they still got Metcalf. I think they're going to be able to. I think they're going to be able to hold Denver. Denver's a bet at home team, not on the road. And Seattle's pretty pumped. I really think that defense is going to be fucking legit this year. I think it's going to be a top 5 defense.
All right, let me ask you a question though. At some point, Geno Smith's going to turn back into a pumpkin.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
You worried about maybe this week? It might be it.
Maybe, but I don't necessarily.
I don't think that's
very good.
I think that's the only holdback. Is at some point Geno Smith is going to turn into 3 interception with a pick 6.
But, so why I would look to do this is because it's a non-conference road game.
Okay.
Right. Non-conference road game. Home team is almost favored by a touchdown. It checks all the boxes for what you want to be looking for. Especially week 1. Like I can't think of when I'd be looking to use Seattle again. That's a tough division.
Okay. All right. Cam, you are of course you're in Circa Millions, not Circa Survivor. I keep confusing the two. All right. So what's your survivor pick for the week?
So I have had a lot of success in Munaf Manji's survivor pool. It's $100 buy-in and typically under 20 entries, and you just pick chalk in a pool this small. Now, if you're playing in like the Circus Survivor or whatever, you kind of gotta be a little bit contrarian sometimes. So I have a question for Chris.
Mm.
Are you a little worried that everyone's going to be picking the Bengals this week for survival?
No, bro. I'm telling you right now, this team. I told you I bet the alt win totals at 2, 3, and 4 to hit them on the nose, and I bet the under 4.5. I have never seen an offensive line this bad since I'm talking pre-fucking Parcells Bledsoe days. That's early 90s, Cam. And let me tell you something, they were fucking bad when I was a kid. They were fucking terrible. And this is like that receiver room. Pop Douglas could be a decent receiver. I believe that. Polk seems okay. When Bourne comes back, maybe that's something. But Stevenson got run on the ground last year. Antonio Gibson sucks. KJ Osborne sucks. The O-line is a legitimate problem. That defense could keep him in games. Maybe. I think they played over their heads last year with Belichick gone, with a guy who's running the defense, who's never called plays. Like, I'm telling you, man, I think we're looking at 1 to 2 wins. Like, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, they can still beat the Patriots with just T. Higgins and like Zach Moss running it like 18 times.
Yeah, and that Chase Brown kid or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Isn't there always like a week 1 like big
always
upset,
sure.
I don't think it's gonna be this one, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Could be Buffalo.
The head coach sounds nervous in press conferences. He's already getting pressed by the media. Like it's gonna be an ugly season in New England, which is gonna be great. It's gonna make me laugh anyway.
Could be Buffalo, could be New Orleans, could be Seahawks, maybe.
Yep.
So I think all those are in play.
Yeah, I'm not touching that Broncos Seahawks game. I just know nothing about those two teams, I feel like. So I'm probably so Steve, who did you pick?
Cincy.
So I have 3 entries. I'm probably gonna go Cincinnati, Miami, and I think the Chargers. My picks.
Okay, I like the Chargers. But is the trap game the Bengals or the Bills?
It's the Bills.
I think maybe everyone's thinking like I am, and they're like, "Hey, the trap game's the Bengals. Like, pick something else." And then the trap game is actually something else. So I might just pick the Bengals and call it a day. Because looking at their schedule, I mean, this is a home game. You typically like to pick home favorites, right? They got the Chiefs, the Commanders. They have the Panthers, but they're on the road, and then the Giants on the road. Trying to look at all. They have all the bad teams besides the Broncos on the road.
Okay.
So I might take the Bengals here.
Okay.
And just hope that doesn't bite me in the ass.
I don't think it will. So, all right. That's it. That is our first week 1 NFL show. We'll be back every single week.
Yep.
Through probably conference championships.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And we mix it in the fall swing. Obviously, we'll be doing a show once the fall swing kicks back in. And are there any live events?
There's a live event next week. I'm going to be honest.
I'm good.
We're not covering it. We'll give out some picks on the golf show, but the golf course they're playing this is why people don't take live seriously. It's a joke of a golf course. And then they got the team championship, which is at Maridoe, which I think our producer is going to go to. But at this point, like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares?
All right, well, that's it, man. Happy week 1 of the NFL. Another great golf season. Once again, thanks for everybody watching and following all that good shit. So let's make some money on some football so we can waste them on some losers on the fall swing. Let's go. You got the button.